Okay, so let's take a look at these three files. We got one called Fulton.txt, one Montgomery.txt, and the other one goldentemplate.xlsm. That's a macro-enabled Excel worksheet. You'll notice that in order to use macros, you have to enable the content. That's important. There's a few things you need to see here. Table name right now is currently blank. ID, you're going to just leave that for a Y. That will automatically create an ID field that's primary key, auto increment, of type integer. Cell B1, it says table name. I just told you that. Row 5 is data types. Row 6 is field names. We'll take a look at that. There's also a create data button and an instructions button. So once we've got that macro enabled, we can go ahead and start. This is the instructions right here, and it explains to you what to do, but I'm going to show you through that, so you don't really need to read that right at the moment. We put in FM Towns here as the table name, and as it says, row 5 is the data type, so we have varchar 20 and varchar 15, the town being in row 6, the field name, and county also field name. Alright, now what we're going to do is going to go into that Montgomery.txt, and we're going to do a select all, copy and paste right here into the town. Now we know that's all Montgomery County, so we're going to type the word Montgomery in the first one, and then with this little bottom right corner we can click and drag and make all those Montgomery. We'll copy the Fulton text, place it below there, put the word Fulton in the first one, drag it down, and get ourselves all that data. So now we've got all the data that we want lined up with field names, field types, database table name, and we're ready to click the data. And what happens is it creates a whole bunch of code here, SQL code. The first one being drop table if exists FM Towns. That's in case you have to rerun it because you made a mistake or something. So it will delete it because you can't create it if it already exists. Then you'll see create table FM Towns, the ID in primary key not null auto increment, and the two that we had here, town varchar 20 and county varchar 15. And then we see all the insert statements. What we're going to do is we're going to copy that. You notice I didn't have to copy everything because all that data is actually in column C. It's not in all the other columns. So when I copy that, I can go ahead and paste it right into a notepad file, a text file of some sort. We see all that right there. We're going to save that, in this case calling it fmtowns.sql, and then logging in through WinSCP, we'll take the fmtowns.sql from the left, the local file, and put it over here, fmtowns.sql, on the right hand side, the remote file, up in our home directory. I'm in my test B directory because that's the user account I'm using. Now when I get there, MySQL -h localhost -u test G, that's the database account I'm using. -p means add a password, so you see I'm entering my password. But right here it says less than, that's the redirector from fmtowns.sql. So once that password's entered correctly, it'll all work, no problem. So then I go back and I rerun it without redirecting from fmtowns, which allows me to get into MySQL. I show tables and I see I've got fmtowns and student and whatever else I may have there.